Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Thank you for joining me this morning. Needless to say, 2021 didn't exactly start out the way I had planned. As many of you know, I've been dealing with an ear issue, and of course, I've been referred to an ear, nose, and throat doctor. I'm awaiting a phone call from them, to set up an appointment. I'm much better, but I'm not completely out of the woods. I'm about 75% of the way. Oh, and then to add a little more fuel to the fire, last Sunday, somehow I sprained my left foot. Don't ask me how I did it. So I was laid up in bed pretty much all week last week. It was very difficult for me to get around. And let me just say, those people that are incapacitated or they're in a wheelchair that cannot get around, that cannot do for themselves, my heart goes out to you. I found out or had a little bit of a taste of it last week when it was solely me and I had to be the one. At least now I'm two-thirds, 70% of the way able to get up and do things for myself like I was. Of course, I'm still, soaking my foot in Epsom salt and things like that. But without further ado, what I am here for is I meant to tell you guys about a lentil recipe that I have. I happened to mention it on Debbie Saves or Debbie's Live last week. Well, I have a couple of variations when it comes to the lentil soup. One of them is you can take your favorite spaghetti sauce that you make, or you can take a good jarred sauce, whichever you like, and you add your lentils to water, and then you just mix in your sauce. You add a little bit of your spices how you want it. Of course, I add a little bit of sugar to kill the acidity. And as it's cooking, I like to add olive oil along the way, and you may have to add a little bit of water to it because it'll dry out. That's one way of doing it. And you let it cook, I don't know, about 35, 40 minutes. You want to taste the lentils and make sure they're soft. Over medium heat is usually what works for me. Another way you can do it, this is my mom's recipe. This is a little more of a natural. What you're doing is you take your lentils, put it in water, and you're going to take a peeled potato and a couple of Roma tomatoes and put it in the water. And then you're going to add some type of a flavored meat. You could put bacon or a good piece of pork or beef, something to give it flavor. Just use your best judgment. You put that in there, and then you just cook it the same way. And of course, you're going to want to add a little water, and you're going to add the olive oil as you go. And you're going to put your spices in, your parsley, your Italian seasoning, whatever you might want, a little bit of garlic. Same goes for the other method as well, by the way. Or you can just leave it in its exact form. So, and it's really good. It's also very healthy. It's also a good source of protein. I have another recipe that's really nice, and it's called chicken adobo. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the store and you're going to buy a pack of chicken drumsticks. You're going to boil the chicken drumsticks by itself in a pot, 15, 20 minutes until it's done. But over here to the side, you'll have a skillet with an onion cut up, a little bit of garlic. You don't want to add the garlic right away. You want to add it slightly later. And if you like mushrooms as an option, you can mix that in and you cook it. Now, when it reaches golden brown, and usually you can tell when, fried onions are done, then you're going to take the chicken and add it to that mixture, and you're going to put soy sauce on it. And you're going to roll everything in, add your soy sauce, continue to roll it, mix it in. And of course, when it's right, you'll see the color of the chicken change color. It'll go from the natural, chicken color, to more of a brownish soy sauce. And then you'll probably do that for about a good 15 minutes or so over medium heat, low medium. And that's pretty much it. Then you just take that, just add it to a plate. You can add your vegetable, whatever you want to it, and it makes a great meal. It's, pretty cost effective. And then I have another one. This is probably one no one has thought about. I did this many years ago, and I just recently thought about it. What you do is you take either ramen noodles or a good thin spaghetti, vermicelli, whatever you like, and you drain the pasta when it's done. And what you do is you take a can of chili, about half a can, and you add it to either the ramen or the thin spaghetti, whichever variant you use, and you mix it in. You can add a little bit of Parmesan to it. And what it does is it gives you like a chili mac kind of feel. And it does yield more than the average, half can of chili. And it's very filling. And I did it yesterday for lunch. And then I decided to try the thin spaghetti route, early dinner. And I had some left over, so I wound up eating a little bit of that for breakfast. I know it's, most people don't think chili at breakfast, but I figured why not? So I did that. And that's that's a pretty good, cost effective if you're looking for something to eat and you want, like a 3-step method, less than 30 minutes, you have something, or within 30 minutes. So that's a few recipes that I was wanting to share with you guys, and that's about it on that note. But without further ado, I do have Jan from New York City Saves Money with me, and she tried the ramen and armored chili method yesterday, and she was very pleased. So I'm going to go ahead and bring Jan in. I know she's waiting in the back, so I'm going to bring her in.
Hi.
Oh, look at you.
Hi, everybody. Hey, Steve. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Nice glasses, by the way.
Thank you. Can I tell you something? We live parallel lives. Hi, everybody. I highly recommend every single recipe that Steve just mentioned. Thank you for bringing those up, because every one of those recipes are budget friendly. Who is not watching their budget a little more carefully these days? I mean, every single one of us can stand to save a little money. And not only that, they're delicious. That recipe, the last one, for example, if you're busy, okay, you're tired. I mean, what does it take? A few minutes to do the ramen noodles and to heat up the half a can of chili. I had that last night. Yum. Beyond yum. I can't wait to try the adobo chicken one, the second one. And I love lentil soup. Steve, I just have to say thank you for those quick tip recipes. They're a lifesaver.
Oh yeah. I mean, you stop and think about it, and a lot of the time, you can catch drumsticks on sale. A lot of the time you can leave, you can get drumsticks on sale. Usually, like if you go to Sam's, BJ's, Costco, any of your wholesale clubs, a lot of the time you can find drumsticks for less than $1 a pound. And you just pick your chicken. If you have a family pack, if you have a family of 4 or 5, because of course, before I was cooking, it was me, my dad, my mom, and then it just became me and my mom later. But, we would cook like a medium sized or a family pack sized of the chicken. You're boiling it up, but you're also over here cooking it, you're frying your onions. Oh, I meant to mention, and yes, I need to get to my comments in a second, but you don't have to necessarily just use a yellow onion. I do recommend yellow onions, but you can also use Vidalia if you like a little bit more of a sweet taste. So you can use, a good medium-sized onion to do that.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I mean, I prefer garlic cloves that you cut up and chop up, put in, but you don't have to do that. You can get that little itty bitty bottle of garlic that you take the lid off and you just spoon it out. I think it's
Right.
minced garlic. You can go that route just as well.
Those are great. And not to mention, in a pinch, and there's nothing wrong with it, work with what you have on hand. Anybody on a budget knows, well, or should know this. And we, thankfully, both of us do this ourselves, Steve and I, when he does what he, cooks in his house. Basically, work with what you have. If
Yeah.
a recipe calls for fresh garlic and all you have is garlic powder, you don't have to run to the grocery store to buy the garlic. I mean, that's ridiculous. So
No.
you have garlic powder. It's okay.
Oh, it'll work fine. No.
The food police are not going to come after you. Just
No,
use it.
Is garlic powder as good as the actual thing? No, but I mean, if you're like, well, I don't want to go to the store's 5 miles away or however how distance it is. Yeah, just use garlic powder. I mean, it is a good alternative. I mean, it's still garlic. I mean,
It's garlic. Garlic powder is garlic.
I did fail to mention, I wanted to let everybody know that a bag of lentils is very inexpensive. I can pick up a bag of lentils anywhere between $1.20 and $1.50 a bag. I mean, it's extremely inexpensive. It's, and then when you add in, if you make your own spaghetti sauce and you add to it, if you like that gives it a little, that's really more of a soupy type thing. It's more of a lentil soup. It'll kind of remind you of minestrone in a way, but not quite. It's really good. And then, later, if anybody decides to try it, definitely come back, leave a comment, and let me know what you thought, because it has my.
Steve, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it just has my curiosity, because I've noted I'm coming over to my description box. Debbie. Good morning, everybody. By the way, I just wanted to mention. Life with Granny T would like to try the lentil recipe, and Debbie wants to try it. So I'm anxious to see their outcome.
Oh my gosh, me too. Me too. Steve, I just want to throw a mention in if you don't mind. I recorded about an hour ago, and very soon I'm going to upload this for everyone, talking about the smartest foods you could get for the budget. And I have my exclusive, easy to make, very affordable oatmeal muffin recipe is included in that upload. And it's not, you don't see me speaking it. You see my trusty notebook, for example. This is one of those trusty notebook record deals, but you'll have the recipe right in front of you. So if you're interested, it talks about smart food investments. It's ironic and interesting that you mentioned the meals you mentioned. To me, my mind's register. Every one of them are smart food investments.
They are.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
I need to go. I haven't watched your latest little upload yet, whenever it decides to go up. It just so happens I've got about 3 packs of the instant oatmeal. I've got a cinnamon, I have an apple cinnamon one, and I think there's maple and brown sugar. So I'm kind of curious, your recipe, adding that to it, how that would be. And
you can try that way. This one, it calls for, the oats that are in the round box, the quick 1 minute.
The quick 1 minute
works, yeah. Or a regular. But however, I have done things I've done the cheat way, if you will, work with what you have. Again, if you have instant oatmeal packages, it doesn't hurt to give it a whirl. I would imagine it works. Well,
guess what? Most people don't know that the quick 1 minute oatmeal and what's in those packages is the same oatmeal.
Yes.
Now, I don't have a problem with quick oats. I'm more of an old-fashioned oatmeal type.
Yeah, the hearty one.
I like the full-blown, right? Only because that's what will I eat the quick one? Yeah, but if given a choice, give me the other. That's just me. Of course, I used to do it with the butter and the sugar if I didn't have that. And here's another tip I can throw in case anybody's never done it. If you want to add a little more flavor and you don't have ingredients, but you use flavored coffee creamer, I'm coming back to that. You can take vanilla. You can do hazelnut, amaretto. The only flavor I don't recommend doing in oatmeal, I just don't do it. Chocolate. No. But you can add that to your mix as you're cooking it. And it does fill the voids in two areas, the milk and the sugar.
That's great.
Plus it
That's
gives
great.
you a little flavor. So it does work.
And the boxed oatmeal, the round one, is so much more cost effective than the pre-packaged. Yes, those are convenient, but can I tell you, I literally take the one that says quick 1 minute one on the label. I literally put that in my bowl, literally pour the hot water. I like to take, like you do, I take some powdered creamer with a little bit of cinnamon and a little bit of sugar.
You can.
Voila, done deal. Very, very good.
Now, I will mention this, depending on how much liquid creamer, well, you said powdered, but if you have like Coffee Mate or International Delight liquid, depending on how you add it, you can control the sweetness of it.
Absolutely. And that's another benefit.
Right.
The ones that are in the pre-packages, they may put in too much sugar for your taste, where that way, your way, you can control it.
You can control it, right? You can, yeah. Let me see. Debbie happened to mention about a Jared diced garlic. Okay, I'm going to have to check into that because it does add more flavor than garlic powder. Now, I'm a big flavor nut, and especially when it comes to like garlic and oniony, or I do like the taste of basil. I like the taste of oregano, parsley. I like, those types of flavors. I mean, I don't like overkill, but I definitely like to taste that along with, like the tomato or whatever base that's in there, along with, the.
Can I throw in a quick money saving tip while we're on the subject of garlic? Mm-hmm. If you have garlic powder, there is no reason on God's green earth that you have to purchase garlic salt. You could ratio it out in your own food saver, garlic powder, to ratio it out with your regular salt. Mix it up. Why go to the grocery store and buy garlic salt? That reminds me of the cinnamon sugar. You know how I feel about going out to the grocery store to buy cinnamon sugar. If you own cinnamon ground and if you own sugar, why can't you put it together? Just saying.
Well, you're going to get the same end result, but it's actually better because if you have sugar by itself, you have cinnamon by itself, you can control how sweet or unsweet you want it. Whereas the other method, you have to take it in its exact form. You can't change it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I guess you could probably do the same thing with pumpkin pie spice. You could probably do that with any
yes, absolutely.
So
there are some specific videos on this wonderful platform that show you distinctly, directly the measurements of if you want to make your own rubs and put your things together. So, you could, do it to taste, which is the perfect way. It's the way you like it. As always, what works for yourself and your family, because on my channel this week, we're focusing a lot on stockpiles, as you may know, you're a subscriber and a contributor and a viewer. Mm-hmm. We're focusing on, things to stockpile. And one of the biggest tips I just have to throw in on stockpiling, do not stockpile things that your family does not eat. Just because Jan from New York City may like 12 cans of chili, I'm just saying this as an example. That doesn't mean that your family likes that. If your family prefers 12 cans of corned beef hash, then you get the corned beef hash.
Right.
Work with what works for your family.
Right. Okay, Life with Granny T. She just left a comment. A friend just gave us 6 boxes of the apple cinnamon instant oatmeal packets. We tried it and it is really sweet. May have to add it to regular oatmeal. Okay. I have a good tip for that, actually.
Smart.
Because I've lost weight and I had to change my taste buds and basically reteach myself how to eat and drink again, water, and wean myself off of the soda. Here's what you do. Definitely get some regular oatmeal. Put that in whatever you're going to put it in, a bowl.
Yeah.
Gradually add the apple cinnamon to that
Yeah.
and taste it. And if it's not to your liking, add a little more and continue until you reach the taste you're looking for.
Awesome.
I know exactly what she's talking about. I don't mind the instant oatmeal packets, but they can be on the sweet side.
Yeah, they're convenient and all that, but but to everything a price. Obviously, anything that's more convenient, it costs more, and it could be tend to be sweeter. Funny, as I got older too, I'm not very fond of ultra sweet food.
No.
As I got older, no,
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
slightly sweet works better for me than, oh my goodness, overkill sweet. Ugh.
Yeah, because one of the candies, they're usually found during Easter time.
Yeah.
I liked them 15. Well, no, let me go back further than that because about 15 years ago, I was already lost a lot of weight. But about 20 years ago and before, I used to love the Cadbury cream eggs.
Hmm.
But since my taste buds have changed and I don't like as sweet, I can't really eat them anymore. Now, Cadbury does have two other variations. They do have a peanut butter egg, which is nice,
Yeah.
and they also have a chocolate egg. It's got chocolate in the middle and peanut. So those are not as bad. But even then, I try to proportion my.
And that's the beauty, by the way, of the recipe that if you have an opportunity, anyone to view this oatmeal muffin recipe of mine,
I
I
will.
don't believe in, I mean, a lot of people may say, oh, Janet, I'm not interested in you always using brown sugar. Brown sugar is annoying. It's expensive. It's too sweet, that blackstrap molasses flavor. So what I do, I'm just telling you my twist on it, and you'd be amazed. Anything that requires brown sugar, I swap it out with granulated sugar and cinnamon instead. It's less calories. It's less ooey gooey. You don't have to deal with that bricky thing. This
Mm-hmm.
is my opinion. I could just hear the audience going, oh, she don't use brown sugar.
And
No, I don't.
and most people don't realize
Cheaper
you
too.
not only cheaper, healthier. You and I both know that cinnamon has a lot of benefits. It also
Yes,
stabilizes blood sugar.
yes. Ironically, yes, yes.
So you're actually, I mean, if you stop and think about it, you're actually doing yourself a favor by using the cinnamon.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, brown sugar is nice. Like you say, it gives you that molasses-y, but
But it's
it's
not
not.
a must. You do not. I've experimented with this in my life. Anything that has required brown sugar in recipes, I swap it out instead with white granulated sugar, same measurements, and a teaspoon of cinnamon. If you want to make a recipe and you don't have brown sugar and say, "Oh, I can't make that recipe," that is not true. Swap it out with those ingredients, and you will be shockingly amazed. You know what, Steve? Well, while I'm here, just want to mention another thing, if you don't mind.
Mhm.
We were talking about this briefly on my show about complicating things. We tend to magnify instead of simplify. I'm all for simplifying
Right.
because life could be magnified enough with regular stuff. When it comes to cooking, I like to simplify it down to basics. And who writes these rules and regulations? If I make muffins, do I only get to eat it for breakfast? No. I could swap out my oatmeal muffin for lunch. I could have an oatmeal muffin and half an apple for my lunch.
Nothing wrong
There's,
with that.
there's no food police saying, "Oh, you can only eat an oatmeal muffin for breakfast."
No,
That's
it's not.
silly.
You could have it for dinner if you wanted it bad enough.
Yeah, yeah. There's
Um,
nothing wrong. It's interchangeable.
yeah. Um, oh, I have another. Well, it's not. Well, I guess it could be Recipe Tuesday, even though I labeled it Random Talk. But another recipe. Speaking of breakfast, and I've done it in two different types of, but I'm going to share both. There's this certain restaurant, And they're known for making pancakes. I'm not going to say any more than that.
And it's a hop, skip, and a jump to get there.
And if you think about it, you know the restaurant that I'm talking about.
I figured it out.
So I went in there one day, and I had ordered it on a few occasions. They had pumpkin pancakes. It was during
my.
So I finally broke down. I said, by the way, what is the secret ingredient in these pancakes?
Yeah.
Oh, is that all you want to know? I said, yeah. What is it? Oh, all they do is they beat up the batter like they do. And all they're doing is adding pumpkin pie spice to the batter, and they're making the pancakes. I said, that's it?
That was very nice of her to tell you.
Yeah, but you know what? After that, I saved myself a ton of money making them.
And not only that, you don't have to wait till, let's say, October. Suppose you feel like a pumpkin pancake in July.
Sure, why not? Mm-hmm.
I have to talk to you a minute about an unconventional breakfast. We're talking about swapping out eating at any time. Steve, is this verifiably true? What did I say before we came on live today? Give me a few minutes. What was I making? Those flat frozen steaks that I've been craving.
Right.
So you know what I keep mentioning in my little book over there. So instead of having it for dinner, see what I meant checkerboard square about the menu planning, meal planning? I felt like that flat frozen steak quickly took 3 minutes to make breakfast. So I had that on a piece of whole wheat bread. That was my breakfast. Perfectly happy.
Well,
no food police coming after me. You had that. People eat steak and eggs for breakfast.
Of course, yeah. Not only that. Okay. Let's see. There's nothing wrong with the flat steaks. And of course, I'm not going to mention the brand name because I don't want to get any copyright issue. But let's just say that it's used in a lot of steak sandwich recipes.
Yes, and they are good.
And it comes in a red. It usually comes in a red box.
Yeah.
I've done that. Matter of fact, I've got a few pieces of what you just now that I'm able to walk around and stand on my foot.
Oh yeah, truly, yeah. Good.
The last three. It's good on any kind of bread. Wheat, you can do potato, sourdough, whatever sourdough I really like a lot if I can find it.
And I think they're fairly reasonable. I think because you get if a person lives by themselves or just one other person, that thing could stretch a number of meals. I just take like one of those with the paper. I break them in pieces. Then I go to the second layer, take another half of an and throw it in. And for me, Jan, that's perfect. You could throw cheese on there. You could put onions. I like them just plain sauteed and a little bit of butter and a little bit of onion powder, and I am done. I am totally fine, happy. Makes a great, quick breakfast of protein.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, one of the things that I mentioned in this upload coming up that you're going to see soon, I call it smart food investments because then I outline the foods and I describe why. And I believe that people will get value of it. I try to make videos of value to the viewer, like not just, wasting their time. Just, you will get something out of it, anyone that's viewing that.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Let's see. Lee, he mentions talk about interchangeable. I had 3 chicken and vegetable dumplings for breakfast. That has to be nothing but
wow.
I never thought about doing chicken and dumplings for breakfast, although I can see it.
Lee is my DNA, so I could believe it. It's my cause.
That's great. All right, Debbie, I did make the change on today's live. I changed it to Recipe Tuesday. Somehow it let me do it miraculously, so it's been changed. And Oh, you're right. I will get more hungry viewers. I do have a plethora of recipes that I can share. That is another side about me. I do like to cook.
Yeah.
Um, I can't do it today, but I could. I even have a good simple omelet to make. Matter of fact, I'll just go ahead and tell you it's a Parmesan cheese omelet. You beat up your egg. You can add a little bit of milk. You put in your Parmesan cheese, your pepper, whatever spices you want, Italian, whatever you want to beat it up. And then you just cook the egg as you do in an omelet. You can
So good.
add more. You can add more cheese to it of your choice, provolone, American, whatever you want. And then you just fold it over, cook it, and you're
Oh my
done.
gosh.
And that's
Yum.
it.
You know what, Steve? Did you ever? I love your recipe. It is outrageous. And you're giving me an idea. Well, actually, this happened to me in real life using your idea. I had a last minute guest coming over for lunch. Like, ever get those phone calls from people you love and you want to see them? Hey, I'm in your neighborhood. Would you mind if I stop up? Sure, come up. And naturally, you got to offer them something. It's only right. So they come over. And you know what I did? I made last minute omelets with a pot of coffee. So you just reminded me of the joy of an omelet. Talk about budget friendly,
Oh
delicious,
yeah.
filling, and
Yes.
your guests usually walk away very happy.
Happy. Right. Right.
Perfect for the last minute.
Plus it's an inexpensive protein. I mean,
Absolutely. I love your idea with the Parmesan cheese. Can't go wrong.
no, try it. It doesn't have to specifically be Parmesan if you like Parmesan and Romano.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, since I'm here, this is a very nice Parmesan. If you can find it, it's a 3 cheese.
Oh, the blend. Yeah. That's a boost.
This is
Wow.
good. I use it in everything. I put it in pasta.
Yeah.
I use it in ramen. I mean, I put
That's
it
good
in
in meatballs too. Meatball recipe.
meatball. Yes, yeah.
Rice ball recipe. Just saying.
Meatloaf. If you do the meatloaf, and we of course add the spaghetti.
Yes, yes,
Aha.
yes.
And guys, another tip coming back to the oatmeal. If you don't have breadcrumbs, you can always put oatmeal in its place. Guess what's going to happen? That meatloaf is going to yield more because what happens to oatmeal when it gets hot and cooked? It expands. So you make
I
more.
will never go back to only breadcrumb way because thanks to Steve and Steve's influence of that recipe, we were talking one day. I wanted a meatloaf, and then it occurred as in our conversation. We're on a video chat, and I entered the oatmeal and swapped out. I loved it so much. It does something to the texture too.
It does.
You know, doesn't change the flavor of the meat. You're not going to feel like you're eating a bowl of oatmeal with your meatloaf.
No.
You're just all you taste is meatloaf. Okay,
Right.
no change of flavor, but the texture is moist, juicy. These are great food investments.
Think about this too. Think about how much a pound of a good quality ground beef is going to run you.
That's right.
Now, I would much rather go over to the aisle and get my oatmeal and add to the meat and expand it out. That's a lot cheaper than buying an extra pack of meat. It's not going to give you, it's not going to give you double the amount, but you'll definitely see a good half to 2/3 of a stretch. You'll see it get bigger. I mean, it's natural.
If you normally yield, let's say, well, I make my mini meatloafs, okay?
Yeah.
So if you normally, one pack for me gives me 4 mini meatloafs. Adding the oats can give me 6 mini meatloafs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Think of how many other mouths you could feed on those 6 mini meatloaf. Is it worth it? Yeah. More than likely, you have the oats in your cupboard.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know of anybody or any household that does not have some type of oatmeal, in their pantry or in their cupboard.
And if they don't, they'll run out and buy it, and that's worth the trip.
So I'm coming back down to I want to come back to the comments. All right, your cousin Lee flavored oatmeal packets make great muffins. Just Google Quaker recipe. Yeah, they do. I've never actually made oatmeal muffins, so I want to check that. Plus, I want to watch your video when.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
that should be uploaded by 10:30 my time
okay.
or before,
And
depends.
then let's see, Granny T. My 4-year-old granddaughter has requested sausage, eggs, and toast for her. Good choice.
Yeah.
I do like sausage. I'm a little more of a bacon person, but that's just me. It can be regular bacon. It can be the turkey bacon, which I like even more. Because
What do you do when you have a large family and not enough sausage? What you do is you fill up muffin tins and you cut up your sausage so every tin gets a hint of flavor, a bit of the sausage, and maybe fill it up with maybe another vegetable or some cheese or something.
good idea.
Great way. Doing those like egg muffins, if you will, sausage and egg like that in a muffin tin is a great way to spread them out.
Let's see, Granny T again. I used to use oatmeal to expand my sloppy Joe mix. Kids never know a difference until they see me do it.
Ooh, I never heard of that. I love this idea. Thank you.
Yeah, I praise you for that. I would have
Yeah.
never have thought on the sloppy Joe, but when I stop and think about, the method of it, yeah, it would work.
Wow.
And then Debbie
I want to
said that,
try that one.
yeah. And then Debbie says, my mom used oatmeal in her meatloaf so good. Yeah. Once you go the meatloaf, oatmeal.
Moms know best, Deb.
Now, most people like to use ketchup. Don't do
Yeah.
the ketchup. Don't do the
Yeah.
ketchup. If you make your own spaghetti sauce, put it in.
Yeah.
Your meatloaf is just going to have so much more flavor.
Oh my gosh, I will never go back. This is my opine. If all you have is now getting back to bare bones budget, if all you have is ketchup, you use the ketchup. Okay. If all you have is tomato sauce, use tomato sauce. Okay. But if you want to experiment, if you have both, give the tomato sauce trick a try. You may never go back to ketchup.
Because every time when I do oatmeal, I use my own homemade, made from scratch spaghetti sauce. All I did, my mom being from Sicily, because I do have Sicilian ancestry in me, she taught me her spaghetti recipe. What I did is I slightly tweaked it and called it my own. It's 95% her recipe, but she never used pesto in her sauce. I like to use it at times. I like to put a little parsley in it. Her not so much, but that's what I do. And you just can't go wrong once you try that oatmeal meatloaf, and as Debbie knows, recipe with your own spaghetti sauce. I mean, if you don't have your own spaghetti sauce and you have a jar of Newman's Own Saccaroni or Classico or Bertolli or whatever bottled sauce, you could always take that sauce, put it in a saucepan, doctor it up, and make it a little different, and then just add it to the meatloaf. That'll work just as well. I've done that, in a pinch.
That sounds so good.
Yeah.
Really good. You know something, Steve? In February, I think we're approaching National Pizza Day. I believe it's around the 9th usually. And usually I do some sort of a trivia game about that. What I might do this year with the trivia game or only without the trivia game, I might consider everyone who makes their own homemade pizza to submit pictures of your pizza and your recipe. And this is where the budgeting comes in and the swapping, What a fun challenge, right?
Yeah.
I saw someone make a heart-shaped pizza. It was the cutest thing ever for Valentine's Day, too. So these are all fun ideas we, thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to break the bank.
No, not at all. Not at all. Well, I really don't have much more to expand on. I wanted to come on and mention, the recipes. And of course, I added a little. Oh, and by the way, the method that I used on the pancakes for the pumpkin spice, it also works good on French toast. If you want to give your French toast a little bit of a different taste rather than just the cinnamon, try the pumpkin. Or you can add the pumpkin and the cinnamon together which I've
Oh,
done.
a match made in heaven.
Because when I get in, if I have a decent kitchen that I can call my own, my brain just starts opening up and the creativity it just goes left, right, northeast, west, south. So, yeah.
You are a good that I mean all the recipes you've shared with me online and in the past and everything.
Mhm.
It'll be great.
Yeah. Good morning, Sharon Jackson. Nice to
Hi
see you.
Sharon, how are you? We got
I
to get
hope you're
together
doing
on
well.
video chat.
Yeah. Hope you're doing well. Nice to see you. You know, but I can't really expand or think of anything else as far as recipes to mention. I pretty much covered everything, and then you
Well,
asked
I
me.
really appreciate later anybody who's viewing this to head over to my upload later because it's of value to the viewer. I am so excited to share my oatmeal muffin recipe because oatmeal muffins are very easy to make. You're basically adding wet ingredients to dry ingredients.
Mhm.
They're inexpensive. Every ingredient I mentioned, more than likely, you have on hand.
Oh,
So I love recipes that almost anybody can put together at a moment's notice. And they're delicious.
hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out because I'm always trying to find something a little different for breakfast. I mean, I like I don't do it every morning, but I do it at least 3 to 4. I do like a good muffin or a little pastry in my coffee. I like to do that in
Yeah.
the morning.
Grab and go.
So yeah, I do like
Make
a
them
good.
up ahead of time on a Sunday. For example, if you have a Sunday afternoon, make up a batch of muffins ahead of time for your work week. Sometimes you really don't want to like scramble an egg or fry, the flat frozen steak, or you're really busy, or you have to go on the air at 6:15 a.m. in the morning. You just want to grab a muffin, just saying. It's
Yeah,
always good to have a grab and go.
absolutely. Um, okay, there's not much more to mention in the
Okay.
comments. Let's see. Okay, Debbie said she's never made bread. Don't feel bad. I haven't either. I don't. I usually just
No,
go, I usually just go to my Publix grocery store, which they have the best bread, because it's all fresh made every morning, and
right.
and they're constantly putting it out, so it's not like you're getting 3-day old bread.
You know what's another quick tip recipe, Steve? French bread pizza. You just go to your local grocery store, stock up on, if you get a good deal on French bread or a baguette or whatever. I mean, it's a blank canvas. You put whatever you want on there and just have the kids build their own pizza. Put
I've had
whatever ingredients right. They have the fun of controlling it and they could call it their own. I've done that.
I've
They
had
love
I've had
it.
I've had the French toast, the French not French toast. I've had the French bread. All you're doing is it's a piece of, imagine because imagine my
Yeah,
hands in the you just
blank canvas.
it is you put your sauce, your cheese, pepperoni, or whatever you want, and then you just take it and put it in the oven, and
Right.
a few
But if
minutes.
you cut up a whole bunch of this is a great way to sneak in vegetables with the kids. Like you could put in some sliced mushroom in a bowl, all these fun colored vegetables or whatever, and maybe a hint of, a little, pepperoni, whatever. Put that on the side. Let them figure it out. Let them control how much they want on there. Then, of course, just put that in the oven and you both have fun. It's a
Mhm.
great idea. It's very, very budget friendly.
Yeah. Well, like I said, thank you, Granny T. I'm glad that you think that our uploads are of value. That's why we're here,
Thank you.
to share our tips and our and a lot of the things that I've learned along the way. Not that I tend to be somebody who's accident prone or is klutzy, but I learn because every time I make something the first time I've never done it. The second time I'm thinking of new ways to call it me.
Bingo.
What can I do to change it that I don't like? Maybe it has too much cilantro. Maybe it has too much parsley. Maybe there's too much sugar. Maybe there's too, and then I'm going to play around with it, and then call it my own. That's what I do. I tend to, and then who knows? Maybe a third time I might change it again. I
It's
experiment.
your recipe. I mean, like, why not? It's your recipe.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm pretty much done. I don't really have anything to say.
Well,
pretty
thank you for
much,
having me on your show, Steve. And Debbie comes on tonight live at 7:00.
yes, Debbie, I will be there. I'll be watching, so keep a lookout for me in your comments. Let's see.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah. So I have 2 more comments I'm going to read. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, and it's been fun. So Life with Granny T says, I tried to teach my son how to make homemade bread over the phone, and he caught my kitchen on fire. Oh, that's nice.
Ah.
So yeah, I'll make my own bread. I won't ask anybody else to do it for me. I highly recommend that. The last thing you need is your kitchen to be burned to the ground.
No.
So, and Debbie says, Granny T, oh my God, I almost set my crock pot on fire the first time I used it.
Wow.
You might, let's see, you might have to explain.
Yeah, I'm dying to hear that
another
one.
time.
Elaborate on that one.
Yeah, you might have to explain a little bit more detail about that one. I mean, I think it takes a little bit of skill in order to try to set a crock pot on fire.
Unless whoever did it probably left it on like way beyond and forgot it was on. It's the only conclusion I can come to.
That's the only thing I can think of, because if you turn on a crock pot from the get-go, from the off position, that's the only thing I can think of. Maybe
Who said that, Granny T or Deb?
Debbie, about this.
Debbie, maybe you want to throw that into your show tonight and keep us in suspense.
Yeah, that I like what you said. That crock pot would have had to have been already preheated.
Well, thankfully you're safe from that. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, wow. But it happens, and you're welcome, Debbie. Like I said, I'm just so happy. The few of you that tuned in, I really appreciate it. And again, as you see my screen name, as you see it, Steve Young Pine, all one word. That's my channel name. By all means, definitely please tell your friends about me. I'm trying to earn more subscribers. I mean, I'm still a little bit in the incubator stage when it comes to subscribers. But
Steve has got to hit his 100 subscribers soon. Everybody get out there, slam on the like button. And if you have a friend, share the video, and hopefully they will subscribe. We need to celebrate Steve's 100 subscriber. I know you guys can do it. Yeah. I know you can do it. Anyone watching this, do it. We love you.
I mean, I would be ever so grateful, if the word.
That's a real milestone in the beginning. That first 100 subscribers, absolutely milestone. If we could do this within a couple of days, it would do me proudly.
Yeah. Well, this is Tuesday. Now that my sprained foot is doing better, like I said, I'm waiting to hear back from the ear, nose, and throat. I had to fax some paperwork yesterday morning.
I know.
I want to try to see if I can get at least 2 uploads a weekend. Maybe, let me rephrase that, 2 lives,
Yeah. Honestly, Steve, I hope you don't mind me taking a second to say this. I'm just fixing my phone a second.
No.
Honestly, to me, there's nothing like going live. The interaction, to get to talk to, our favorite folks that comment in real time. What an opportunity.
Yeah.
It's like getting to make 10 phone calls at the same time. Getting to speak to your favorite people in real time is amazing. And of course, thankfully, playback for others who are unavailable at the moment. Mm-hmm. So this is a wonderful, wonderful option. I really like going live on a regular basis. For me, it works. The time, I don't know about the time frame. Maybe some people, I don't know. I got kind of used to the 6:15, but I may flirt with the idea of just for an experiment, switching the time to a later time in the future. But as an experiment, I think for the most part, I'm keeping it at 6:15.
Mhm.
People like to have a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
We like to have a cup of coffee together.
Well, I got up this morning about 4:12. I didn't get out of bed. I laid there for at least a good half hour. Um, you know, like I said, I do like to watch.
Oh, you late riser, you.
Well, no, usually I'm up in the threes, but again, I get up in the morning. I have my coffee. I put on my Me TV. I do like. Well, this is a whole other separate entity. I know it's about recipe, but I'll talk about it for a second. I do like to watch Me TV. I do like the middle of the night lineup that they put up. I like Mannix,
This is an unsponsored ad.
Mannix Cannon. I like Barnaby Jones. I'm so glad Buddy Epson was given the role of Barnaby. There was only so much, and I know this is not a trivia show, but I'm working on that. I know this is not a trivia show, but I am so glad that Buddy Epson was given that role. There was only so much of Jed Clampett I could put up with.
Oh yeah, it's not fair to him. I mean, really?
Yeah. But I want to say, Debbie, thank you. I appreciate you saying that I have great content. So do you. And I'm really looking forward to tonight's live that you're going to do. I'm going to tune in. I mean, I know a lot about financial. I know about credit cards and, how to move money around to save on interest.
You are definitely one of the best money guru people that I have known. You really know details and practicality.
Yes, true. But again, Debbie can probably show me a thing or two that I might not know.
Oh, the two of you, please. You guys are fantastic. I'm not just saying this because I love and care about both of you and you're my friends.
Right.
I'm saying it because it's true. Yeah. And I'm so happy that we have this platform to share all of you guys' talents. You guys are amazing.
And then Granny T, she says, I'm just glad I caught it. I usually miss your guys live when you go live. Don't worry about it.
We love you, Granny T. Thank you for everything.
If you don't catch us live, just remember you can always catch us in playback.
Yep.
And you can still, comment as you do here, put your 5 cents in or 2 cents or whatever you want to call it. But no worries. If you make it, great. If you don't, through the magic of StreamYard and YouTube, it miraculously goes over there. And then
I love this streaming service. That's all I can say. I just love this streaming service that we use. I really do. I really appreciate using it.
Yeah. All right. It's been fun. I'm glad I had a chance to come back and do a live. It went longer than I was anticipating, but that's okay. It's making this way I could make up for last week too. It's like
absolutely
2 shows in one. So it was fun. I really enjoyed it. Janet, thank you for coming aboard.
My pleasure. Anytime. Thank you.
And yes, I will put the recipe for the lentils and the what was the other lentils? Oh, and if you want the chicken adobo one, I can put that up. Again, it's really like a 3-4 ingredient in a recipe, and you pretty much have it.
Yeah, you could always do a short pre-record in the future of the specific recipe or post in your description box in the future.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Debbie. I love hearing you talk about credit cards and financial as well. I think between the two of us with what we know, I think you and I could definitely.
I have a question for Debbie while she's here. Debbie, would you consider coming back on one of my shows, Talking Credit Cards with Steve?
I'll gladly. I think she and I would be like. It would be. I don't know. I don't want to.
It would be an honor to have you back, Deb.
I don't want to put myself on a pedestal.
Sundays are always the best. Yeah.
I don't want to put myself on a pedestal, but it would be like having 2 Susie Ormans on there at once. And I mean, I'm nothing. Believe me, Susie Orman. Yes, she's my mentor. Of course, I watched her, when she had her show. But let me see. Granny T says I paid off half my credit card debt this month, and I'm praying by next month.
Yay! Kudos.
Get rid of it. Remember, credit cards, you can still use them. Use credit cards like you do cash. Also, pay it off at the end of the month, by the due date, no interest. Or you can also put something on there, same as cash, and then 3 or 4 days later, when it shows up as a charge, you can pay it, and you're way early. Of course, the credit card company hates that. They don't want you to pay it early. They want your money. Oh, I know.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm about to make a little bit of changes here on my credit card. I have another 0% balance transfer. They want to charge me a 5% fee. Oh no, you're not going to. I'm going to call and we're going to negotiate a percentage. If you can't give me the percentage, well, you don't get my business. It's as simple as that.
See, he's in the credit card zone.
Well, it's not that. I'm always on time.
No, I don't mean that. I'm glad what you're doing. I'm saying how much you know about credit cards.
Right. Oh, yeah. Oh, you have her books, and that's great. Yeah, she is that woman. I love her story, the way she started out, working for Merrill Lynch way back when. Yet
some people had the nerve to slam her and call her a scam. I disagree. She's not a scam. She's not. She's the real deal, and I agree with her.
No, because if I remember correctly, I never read her book, but I know her backstory. I think she started out as a waitress.
Yeah.
But who cares? It's a way to put money in your pocket,
Nothing wrong with being a waitress. We need them.
If you don't have a waitress, how are you going to eat? They got to take your order, right?
Too many chiefs and no Indians is not a good thing. We have to have a balance of everybody doing everything.
Right. Oh, thank you, Debbie. Like I said, I'm just trying to be very straightforward and upfront because everybody, is always trying to, thumbs down I don't know why.
I don't understand that Susie Orman slamming. I really don't. I don't get it.
If Susie Orman is so bad, why is she very comfortably set money-wise? I know she has a home here in Florida, down in Central Florida, somewhere down around Dunedin or Clearwater. I know she has a home. I know she has a couple of homes. But no, she's very financially set. She's also helped Oprah along the way.
I also like her priorities. If I recall, on that weekly show that I used to can't wait to watch on Saturday nights back then, well, I love what she said about people first. Am I correct? That was the order, how she closed the show?
People first, then money, then things. I remember the motto.
That's correct.
Okay, Debbie asked me about Dave Ramsey. Well, I'm kind of neutral about Dave. I'll tell you why. I was watching one of his YouTube interviews about a year or so ago, and this woman wanted to go out and buy a car. And, she was going to go and get a very low rate, like 1.9 or 2.9, I can't remember, which is great for a car. What does he tell her to do? Which, keep in mind, not everybody can do this. This is what shut me off or made me look differently upon Dave. What you need to do, this is Dave talking, by the way. What you need to do is you need to take about $1,000 of your money and set it aside for about 18 months and go buy you a car outright. All right. Good idea. I agree. Owning something outright is the way to go. You own it. There's no payments. You don't have to worry about the 4 or 5. By the way, I would never finance a car that long, 3 years, or I can't afford it. But very, very few people can save $1,000, $1,200 a month and go out and pay cash for something like that. So I'm not in 100% agreement with Dave. I see nothing wrong. And if you have good credit, you're good. You can get 0%. You got to look for it. It's there.
Well, his premise of his stuff is always everybody seems to have bad credit. I mean, it seems like when I listen to his stuff, broadcast live or recorded, it's always the assumption that everybody talks to has some sort of bad credit. So I think that's where his reaction comes on that. But I see your point for sure.
What's the difference between paying cash for something and you get 0% for like 48 months. It's the same thing.
There are times that absolutely it's applicable your way.
Okay, big deal. So the lien holder has to hold your title until you pay it. I get that. Or unless you do an electronic title, which, that's probably a safer bet. But there's no difference. I see, well, one, paying something off in 48 months is going to give you better credit. If you have, if you're trying to build on your credit, that gives you that ability. Or but no, as far as Dave Ramsey goes, I like him, but I can take him or leave him more or less as far as his content, But. All right. I am completely done.
Didn't I hear that 20 minutes ago?
I'm out of here. This is the longest live I think I've done since I've done one. Now, depending on how many people are going to watch the whole thing, that would be great. But again, you can always put it on fast speed and watch it half the time. But little tip I have, by the way, I do that for my videos as well. But,
Yeah.
So. All right. Debbie just mentioned, count me in on the collab with you and Jan on credit cards. Great.
Thank you so much.
We just have to plan a day. We'll just have to work around that.
Yes.
No, this time for real, I'm done. It's been fun. I really appreciate it.
And you got to conclude the show, not me.
You can help me out if you want. You're here.
No, this is your show.
Yeah, I know.
Talk too much on my show.
Well, no. I try to be fair to everybody, even my guests.
You are fair. We love you.
I mean, after all.
And you know something, all joking, Steve, before we go, really, all joking, it is really one of my personal dreams to have Steve hit that 100 subscriber mark very soon. If we could all of us get together and just take our finger and just hit that subscribe button, because it is very important for a person starting off on this platform to hit that mark. Because if you don't hit that mark in a rather timely manner, that's the pivotal point where the video content creator may go vamoose. That was me. Okay. I almost went vamoose because you remember this, Steve, right? When I couldn't hit my 100 mark, and thankfully, a dear other platform person, YouTuber, just happened to mention me. And sometimes through mentioning, other people see your stuff and they like your stuff. Don't just slam the subscribe button just to slam subscribe. Slam it because you like content. That's the persons that Steve wants. That's the persons that I like too. Not a hit and run.
Well, I will say this, not that I'm trying to talk ill of anybody or persons, but I don't feel everybody is live savvy. And
yeah,
if you're going to go live and you're going to say, "Are we live? Am I sweating?" Really, that's how you introduce? And not only that, you don't go right to the comments, especially when you have 20,000 plus subscribers. You're not going to get around everybody.
Right. There is a format, and anybody that wants to do anything in broadcasting, you really have to bone up and you have to learn. You just don't just go blah.
No.
There's some sort of a training, whether it's through a person that's experienced or viewing other content creators, or there really is here's the thing: when you go live, you want to make it look as seamless to the viewer as possible. The viewer is not interested in your technical problems. The viewer is not interested in, oh wait, let me figure out what to talk about. That viewer is there for a purpose, and they want to know your purpose. Okay. Right. When a person comes to, hopefully when they come to my channel, they know that I'm going to talk about something, and it's okay if you have your notes, refer to your notes. That's fine.
Yep.
But have something to talk about, and don't expect them to fill it. And of course, always introduce your guest.
Not only introduce your guest, but if you have a guest on, don't dominate the show. And don't let your guests not say and don't let them talk. If you're going to do that, go live by yourself.
By yourself. All right.
It makes no point.
This was a great show, though. Thank you so much for having me, Steve.
No, you're welcome. I really appreciate it. And I'm glad everybody that tuned in, Life with Granny T, How Debbie Saves, Lee,
Awesome, folks. We love you.
Jackson, all of you guys, absolutely adorable studio. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it.
Oh,
Love
how
you
nice.
guys.
Hi, absolutely.
She,
I don't
yeah,
see the comments, so absolutely, that's nice.
yeah, she responded a little while back in the earlier part of the show, but I meant to say, but yeah, I'm just glad everybody came aboard. I'm trying to make up for some watch time because, like I said last week, I was pretty much laid up. I couldn't do anything. So,
No
but
apologies needed. I mean, the viewers know that we're real people, and sometimes we can't make a broadcast despite our wonderful intentions. So our forgiving viewers do understand.
oh yeah, and I'm gonna wrap this up for real.
Sure.
For real. No, I really because
And I know.
this is a little long for me in a live, but I like what Debbie says. Oh my God, am I sweaty? Oh, you priceless, Debbie. Thank you.
Yeah. You know what? But you know what? We're all forgiving people, and you
We are.
know, we are. We understand because no one is perfect. That's for sure. I mean, I've had some very, very funny things happen to me live. Bells ringing, packages. Please.
Oh, don't feel bad. I'm in the middle of a live with you on your show. And I have a video chat come in on my phone.
I know.
And then I have to step away. Of course, I'm going to try to come back if the live is still active. But
Right.
because I don't like to break away. And if I'm there on a live, I try to I'd like to be there for the whole thing if I
It's
can.
like, when we go live, all of us, Debbie has a fantastic live show. If you're new to this channel and the How Debbie Saves coming on tonight, every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. We are basically, with the kindness of you, inviting ourselves into your homes, into your living rooms, or if you're on the go, whatever.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for the honor of having us there. So
Yes.
we want to make it special for you. So we value you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean that means a lot.
Without them, there's no purpose.
No, there's not. You got to have them in order, or we don't. What good are we if they're not there? You got to have them.
Absolutely.
I'm out.
Everybody have a great day. And I'm going to, as soon as Steve and I get out of the broadcast studio, then at about 10:30-ish my time, I'm going to upload this video. It's jam-packed with information. It runs about 12 minutes, my video. Thanks for having me, Steve. Thank you, everybody, for viewing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for being, a part of this. It's been fun. All right. No, I was just commenting back to because you have the ability for in case you don't know, you don't necessarily have to speak your comment. You can type it back.
Yeah, you know what? I'm still on my cardboard tripod, so therefore I'm not going to take a risk and knock the camera down.
Yeah, so that was a slight delay. I wanted to respond back to Debbie.
That's very nice.
So, all right, guys, it's been fun. My longest live. Hopefully, you guys will, tell
Have
everybody.
a wonderful day, everybody. Thank you so much.
All right, you too. Have a good day, everybody. Good to see you guys.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.